Our friends appear like the dawn. A flock of...
Alright, well, this video is to tell you guys about a new N.D. Wilson book, Notes from the Tilt-A-Whirl, Wide-Eyed Wonder in God's Spoken World. Now, N.D. Wilson is the author of 100 Cupboards and several other books for children, for young adults, that are absolutely wonderful fantasy. And now he's written a piece of essayism, I suppose you could call it, sallying forths. And if you're wondering why I'm smoking a pipe as I'm talking, because you've looked for a book review, or because you've just stumbled upon this video, maybe a bit obnoxious sending the links around. Although this is a bookstore channel, half the point of having this channel actually is to do pipe smoking videos. So here I am smoking my pipe, talking about Notes from the Tilt-A-Whirl. Now, the last book I got this excited about was Gene Wolfe's The Wizard Knight duology. So if you're familiar with that and with my opinions of that, then you know this book is a big deal to me right now. I actually started reading it yesterday and couldn't go to bed until I'd finished it. This book is a vindication. So we're looking at a vindication of creation, a vindication of God. Wilson uses this to address creation and matter and evil and good from the perspective of beauty, really more than anything else. And he structures the book through the seasons of the year, through winter, through spring, through summer, and finally fall. There's some great stuff in here on the problem of evil. That is, how can there be evil in the world if we have an omnipotent, good God? And really the answer he gives, very Chestertonian, but I think the best answer that there can be, a very personal answer. Bottom line is, everything he talks about comes down to the platform of beauty, and beauty that emerges from this speaking of a personal God. Now, I highly recommend this book. I admit that as I read it, I've been caught at a vulnerable moment. So that the last couple of chapters definitely had me in tears pretty frequently. I found that as I've gotten older and had more children, I can be more maudlin. I can succumb to a properly crafted commercial that maybe harps on kids getting older. But that is a weakness in me, that is being maudlin. Wilson actually talks about that sort of thing, about the kitten posters, etc. of life. But my reaction to this book was more than just maudlin, although emotionally vulnerable. The anniversary, the second year anniversary of my mother's death is this coming Saturday. So we'll be going down to the graveyard. And a lot of this book, this book speaks often of the seeds of resurrection, of the seeds that are our bodies, since Wilson does so much to try to redeem matter, which Protestants have so often scorned. And we look forward to the resurrection as opposed to the spiritification or the deification. To me, that is one of the most beautiful things about this world and about creation, is that we are all spiritual beings, and we are all immortal beings, and all our small deeds are cosmic and spiritual and eternal deeds, which lends a beauty, either tragic or majestic, to everything we do, and to my mother's sudden turn for the worse as cancer attacked her. So a wonderful book. a wonderful vindication of life and of creation and of facing death and of dying well. Something he doesn't talk about much, but to me is a concern for me, is that Christians have lost the concept of how to die well. It's not just a matter of being unafraid of death. It's a matter of knowing that you've lived life to the fullest and of striding out to meet death, almost in a barbaric pagan sort of way. The pagans had two basic ways that they could confront death. One was to give in to its inevitability, whether nobly or ignobly. Just to lead the best life you could, and then one day death would come for you. So that best life might be something stoic and noble, or it might be something extravagant and sensual. But for the more barbaric pagan approach, which is that you storm out into the empty space between the armies and you shake your right arm at death. But of course, this is a futile gesture, unless you have a God who raised hell. So, fantastic stuff. Notes from the Tilt-A-Whirl. Of course, I've talked a lot about death, but in this book he talks a lot about the great carnival that is the world, with the beauty and the terror of rainstorms and cyclones. So, death is bound up in all of our beauty, but so is life, and so are small moments. Incredibly well crafted, very well written. So please pick up a copy. Of course, you can order it from me. In my little corner of Christendom, the Wilson family has become very popular. So I know there'll be some hipsters out there who will deride this book or not pick it up, at the least, because, well, N.D. Wilson just isn't cool. Simply because the Wilsons have become so popular. Don't be that guy. This is an absolutely amazing, beautiful book. If you liked orthodoxy, you'll like this. I'm going to close this video out by reading a section from the end, actually. So I hope I won't spoil anything for you. Something that struck me as being very beautiful. The scene of this chapter is a street with yellowing trees and a tunnel created by that. And everything that happens that I'll be reading to you, I've read a couple of paragraphs from the beginning, middle, and end of the chapter. Either take place on a yellow leaf street or in a yellow leaf yard. So enjoy the excerpt, pick up the book, spread the word. Absolutely fantastic. If you want to read about the joy of creation and the wonder and goodness of what God has made, this is a great book to do it with.
A pile of leaves. Knees and feet find my back and try to balance while I roll. Bodies tumble, laughing. I am wearing an oversized sweatshirt and someone is worming beneath it. A daughter's face emerges from my chest, smiling beneath my chin. I cannot stay here forever, she says simply, with her eyebrows high. She is wise. I smile. Why not? Because I will grow. I will be too big and you will be old and sparkly. Sparkly? Yes, and then you will die. I laugh. She remains serious. And then I will get old and sparkly and I will die, and my children will put me in the ground. We will be in heaven, she says, bouncing on her bare toes. But now her brow furrows. Wrongness has found her. Where is my balloon, she asks. I walk with my son up the golden tunnel, kicking leaves, swirling cast-off life up to our knees. Lots of leaves, Rory says. Yep. He quick shuffles forward, mounding a crunching season against his legs. God knows every one. Yes, he does. Is that funny? Yes, it is. At the end of the tunnel, at the other end of history, on the corner of the block where the basalt wall and the trees end, there is a church, small and freshly painted white. Soon we will be old and sparkly.